The renowned Stoic philosopher Epictetus once advised, "The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best." You may have also heard the saying, "You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." Today we'll delve into this concept through the lens of Stoicism, focusing on the 7 types of individuals who can hinder your progress in Stoic practice, and how to manage these challenging relationships. Before we get started, I would greatly appreciate it if you could like this video to support the spread of Stoic philosophy. If you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to do so and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any future content. The first type of person, the complainer. We all know someone, whether a friend, family member, or colleague, who seems to find fault in everything. Be it the weather, their job, or even the food at a popular restaurant, they never miss an opportunity to voice their dissatisfaction. You might think, why should this bother me? I can just ignore them. However, this is often easier said than done. Constant exposure to such negativity can gradually drain your mental energy, much like a leaky faucet slowly depletes water. Stoicism teaches us to focus on solutions rather than dwelling on problems. For instance, imagine you're working on a project with someone who constantly complains. Each meeting becomes an exhausting session filled with grievances, with little room for constructive discussion. Result? Morale declines, you're distracted from finding actionable solutions, and you might even start feeling disillusioned with the project, and possibly with life in general. So, how can Stoicism help us handle a complainer? There are a few strategies you can use. First, limit your interaction with this person whenever possible. If that's not an option, such as if they're a family member or colleague, your second strategy is to mentally distance yourself during their complaints. Think of their negativity as a passing storm, loud and unsettling but ultimately temporary and powerless against the steadfast mountain of your inner tranquility. Your third strategy is to steer the conversation towards solutions, or shift the topic to something more constructive. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This enduring Stoic wisdom urges us to safeguard our mental peace, ensuring that the negativity of habitual complainers doesn't lead us astray from our Stoic journey of resilience and virtue. Second type of person, the drama magnet. Picture your life as a ship smoothly sailing through calm waters, but then you encounter the whirlpool of the drama magnet. This person always seems to be surrounded by crises, conflicts, or controversies, and just like a whirlpool, they have a way of pulling you into their chaos. Initially, you might be drawn to the drama magnet's energy, mistaking it for passion or excitement. However, you'll quickly realize that being close to them is like navigating your ship through a storm, draining and perilous. What makes dealing with drama magnets particularly challenging is that their crises often feel personal. Their turmoil is contagious, and you might find yourself caught up in conflicts that had nothing to do with you. For example, suppose you have a friend who frequently falls out with others in your social circle. Today they're not speaking to Sarah. Tomorrow, Tom. They come to you for advice, but you notice that the pattern never ends. Before you know it, you're also in conflict with Sarah or Tom because you tried to help. In such situations, you might try using a technique called reflective listening. Instead of giving advice or taking sides, simply mirror their words back to them. If they say, "I can't believe Sarah said that about me," you could reply, "So you're feeling hurt by what Sarah said?" This approach allows you to offer emotional support without getting drawn into the drama yourself. Another effective strategy, though it may seem counterintuitive, is to become selectively unavailable. Stoicism teaches us to value our time, and sometimes that means not being available for other people's recurring crises. Turn off your phone during certain hours, set aside focused time for your work or personal development, and make it clear that you are not to be disturbed during these periods. As Seneca said, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. This is especially useful when dealing with drama magnet. Rather than anxiously anticipating their next crisis, focus on the present moment, where you have control. Enjoy your life, and don't let it be disrupted by someone else's drama. Keep your ship sailing smoothly, avoiding the whirlpools that could derail your journey toward personal growth and peace. Third type of person, a naysayer. Imagine you're an artist bringing a canvas to life with each brushstroke, infusing it with color, depth, and energy. Then, the naysayer walks into your studio. They glance at your work and start to criticize. Are you sure about that color? It doesn't look realistic. Most artists never make it, you know. Their words, like smudges of gray paint, begin to dull your vibrant creation. This isn't about constructive criticism, which can be valuable. Instead, it's a relentless stream of doubt and negativity. Suppose you're excited about a new career path. You've done your research, consulted professionals, and even taken some preliminary courses. When you share your enthusiasm with the naysayer, they quickly list all the reasons it won't work. The market's too competitive. Do you have the right skills? What if you fail? Before long, their doubts start to overshadow your confidence, and your once clear vision begins to waver. So, how do you handle a naysayer, especially if there's someone close to you? One effective yet unconventional approach is to involve them in the process by asking for their advice. When they are in an advisory role, they're less likely to dismiss your ideas outright and may offer more constructive feedback. Another approach is to use positive confrontation. Rather than absorbing their negativity, challenge them to think of solutions. If they say, "You'll never be able to switch careers at this stage," respond with, "That's an interesting point. What steps do you think someone could take to successfully make a career change?" This strategy not only deflects negativity, but also encourages a more constructive dialogue. Remember the Stoic philosopher Epictetus's wisdom. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Listening doesn't mean accepting all negativity. It means distinguishing between useful input and mere noise. When naysayers try to cloud your canvas with doubt, take a step back, listen, reflect, and keep painting your life with the colors that inspire you. Don't let anyone turn your masterpiece into a dull gray backdrop. Fourth type of person, the victim. Envision life as a chess game where both players have the same pieces and a unified goal: checkmate the opponent's king. You plan your moves, make sacrifices, and embrace risks to reach victory. Enter the victim, who sees every setback as a result of external forces rather than their own choices. They blame the board, the pieces, or their opponent, believing they're perpetually in checkmate due to circumstances beyond their control. Their narrative is a never-ending saga of misfortune, with themselves as the helpless protagonist. I can't advance in my career because my boss is against me, or I can't get fit because I'm genetically predisposed to fail. While it's true that some face genuine obstacles and systemic barriers, the victim uses their situation as a constant excuse, refusing to take any responsibility for their actions or inaction. You might find yourself ensnared in their drama, perhaps as the ever-supportive friend who's always expected to bail them out. Imagine spending hours listening to a friend blame their series of failed relationships entirely on their ex-partners. This not only consumes your time, but can subtly influence you to adopt a similar victim mindset in your own life. So, how do you handle a victim? While it might be tempting to become their savior, endlessly offering advice and emotional support, Stoicism offers a different approach. Set firm boundaries to protect your own mental health. Practice compassionate detachment. Be empathetic and kind, but avoid solving their problems for them. Offer a listening ear without becoming their perpetual problem solver. Marcus Aurelius wisely noted, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice." If you find yourself drawn into the victim's narrative, resist the urge to become a victim yourself. Take charge of your own game, make thoughtful moves, and remember, in the chess game of life, being perpetually in checkmate is often a matter of choice rather than fate. Keep advancing, make strategic sacrifices when needed, and focus on personal growth and wisdom rather than seeking revenge or indulging in pity. Fifth type of person, the toxic positivist. You know this person. They're perpetually radiant, constantly sharing sunshine, rainbows, and a flood of emojis. They're the ones who urge you to just be happy when you're facing tough times, dismissing your genuine feelings with a wave of relentless optimism. Picture your life as a garden. While it has its share of beautiful flowers, it also has weeds and pests. The toxic positivist insists on ignoring everything but the roses. Notice some aphids on your leaves? They might say, just focus on the flowers. Don't let negativity into your garden. Although this sounds uplifting, their approach can make you feel invalidated and disconnected from the real complexities of your situation. Imagine you're going through a painful breakup. You're feeling sad and disoriented, seeking some emotional balance. The toxic positivist might say, there are plenty of fish in the sea. Just smile and be happy. This type of excessive positivity overlooks the depth of human emotions and the genuine challenges you're facing. So how do you manage your garden without letting the toxic positivist's good vibes only mentality overshadow it? One strategy is to engage them in a dialogue that acknowledges both the light and the shadow. If they say, look on the bright side, at least you have your health, you could respond, I appreciate my health, but it's also okay for me to feel upset about this particular issue. Both feelings can exist together. Another effective technique is to practice emotional granularity, the ability to recognize and articulate a wide range of emotions. When confronted with the toxic positivist's insistence on happiness, take a moment to identify and express your nuanced feelings. For example, saying, I'm feeling a bit down today because of X, and that's perfectly fine, can be a powerful affirmation. Drawing on Stoic philosophy, Seneca observed, true happiness is to understand our duties toward God and man, and to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. This advice underscores the importance of balancing responsibilities with present enjoyment. A Stoic approach isn't about focusing solely on positivity or negativity, but about embracing life's full complexity with equanimity. So the next time the toxic positivist showers your well-tended garden with their stream of relentless optimism, take a step back. Remember, a garden needs both sunshine and rain to flourish. Embrace your full emotional range and keep nurturing your garden with the depth and richness it truly deserves. Sixth type of person, the manipulator. Envision your life as a movie script where you're the lead character. You have a clear vision for how your story should unfold, complete with plot twists, key allies, mentors, and a thrilling final act. Enter the manipulator, a shadowy producer who subtly rewrites your script, steering your storyline off course without your realizing it until much later. The manipulator excels in psychological or emotional tactics, using methods like flattery, guilt, or deceit to direct you toward outcomes that benefit them. For example, a friend might repeatedly convince you to cover the cost of dinner by saying, I've had a tough month and you're so successful. It would mean a lot to me if you could pay this time. Over time, you may find that your generosity has been exploited, and confronting them feels uncomfortable because they framed their requests as simple favors from a friend in need. Navigating interactions with a manipulator can be complex. One effective method to counter their tactics is fogging, acknowledging any valid points in their statements while refusing to be swayed by their emotional manipulation. If they say, you're doing so well, you should cover dinner, you could respond, it's true I've been fortunate, let's stick to our usual practice and split the bill. Another strategy is to establish and enforce clear boundaries. If the manipulator pressures you for money or favors you're uncomfortable with, firmly and calmly decline. For instance, saying, I'm unable to lend you money, but I'm here to offer emotional support, maintains your boundaries while preserving the relationship. Stoic philosopher Epictetus advised, we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. Manipulators depend on predictable responses, exploiting your kindness, guilt, or desire for approval. By consciously choosing how you respond, you regain control over your own script. If you find a manipulator trying to alter your life's narrative, remember, you are the author. Your story is yours to write, and while the cast may include various characters, the direction of your journey, guided by your values and decisions, should always reflect your true intentions. Reclaim your script, and don't let anyone rewrite your life story to suit their agenda. Seventh type of person, the time vampire. Imagine your daily routine as a meticulously crafted symphony, where each task and commitment contributes to a harmonious and balanced performance. Enter the time vampire, an uninvited guest who disrupts your melody with discordant notes, turning your carefully orchestrated symphony into chaotic noise. The time vampire isn't necessarily malicious. They might come across as well-meaning but disruptive. For example, a colleague who constantly interrupts you with trivial questions, breaking your focus, or a friend who persistently invites you to events you'd rather avoid, draining your time and energy. While each interruption may seem minor, their cumulative effect can severely disrupt your productivity and peace. How can you protect your symphony from these unwelcome disruptions? One effective approach is the Pomodoro technique, which involves working in focused intervals, usually 25 minutes, followed by brief breaks. During these focused periods, make it clear that you are not to be disturbed. This creates a protective boundary around your most productive times, preserving the integrity of your work. If the time vampire is social in nature, remember that setting boundaries is crucial. Instead of making elaborate excuses, a simple, "I appreciate the invite, but I'm not able to attend," is often enough. Declining an invitation is not a rejection of the person, but an affirmation of your own priorities and well-being. Seneca once said, "Life, if well lived, is long enough." This Stoic wisdom reminds us that time is one of our most precious resources. It's the canvas on which we paint our lives, and we must be discerning about what and who we allow to occupy our time. In the grand orchestration of your life, ensure that every note, every instrument, and every melody serves your higher purpose. Don't let the discordant intrusion of a time vampire disrupt your symphony. Hold the baton firmly and conduct your life with intention, ensuring that each moment contributes to your harmonious masterpiece. As we conclude today's discussion on the characters who might derail our journey towards Stoic resilience and wisdom, remember that self-awareness is key. It's one thing to recognize these roles in others, but it's even more insightful to reflect on whether you might be inadvertently playing a disruptive role in someone else's life. Stoicism is about more than navigating external challenges. It's also about self-improvement and understanding. Today's exploration has sparked any insights or reflections. I encourage you to share your thoughts in the comments. Engage in the conversation and enrich our collective understanding. Until next time, may your choices be guided by virtue, your actions reflect wisdom, and your life become the masterpiece you are destined to create.